In this episode, we scrub the poop deck in pirate RPG Risen 2.
Yeah.
Toby runs us through the highs and lows of Xbox's Summer of Arcade.
Fucking furries. Game's so good.
And Luke takes on the triads in Square Enix's Sleeping Dogs.
Hey man, wanna watch me unleash the dragon?
Hi, and welcome to Kilobits. Now, if you're watching this, you're one of the very few people in the world who hasn't brought Guild Wars 2 and are running around in-game looking like Yoda's evil twin. In fact, we're swamped with MMOs at the moment, aren't we? We've got Guild Wars 2, Secret World, City of Steam.
I'm excited for Guild Wars 2. From playing the beta, I think it's going to be a really good game.
I mean, I've just been downed here, but the good thing about this game is if you've got any buddies around like her, she can just lean on down, give me a little stroke, and I'm good to go again.
And we've also got World of Warcraft Mist of Pandaria coming out as well, haven't
Oh,
we?
goddamn, yeah. Kung Fu Panda versus, like, manly men. I can't wait.
I want Jack Black to voice something in it.
I don't think you could probably handle that.
No, too much
That
awesome.
would be so awesome.
It wouldn't be, okay? It would be like my other favourite MMO of the moment, Tortanic, or as BioWare call it, Too Big to Fail. Star Wars The Old Republic going free to play this autumn. $500 million went into that. It's $500 million.
And on the subject of mediocre RPGs...
Mediocre.
Yeah, we got sent a copy of Risen 2. Toby, how about it?
We actually got sent 2 copies of Risen 2, which is twice as many fucks as I gave about the game. Risen 2 Dark Waters is the latest game from Piranha Bytes Studios, the guys behind the legendary Gothic series of RPGs. It's the direct sequel to Risen 1, which is kind of unfortunate because Risen 1 is almost notorious for being one of the worst Xbox ports of a PC game known to man. Risen 2 suffers from many of the same problems as Risen 1, but is set in a pirate-themed world which has intrigued some and put off others. Like me. I was one of the only people in the world that ever played Risen 1, and I wish that I'd never played Risen 2. Okay, not only did they take everything that was good about Risen 1 and throw it away, but they've created probably the worst game on Xbox, with the exception of Vampire Reign.
Well, this is usually where I would disagree with Toby and kind of defend the game with its national honour. It's shit. I hate it. I played 25 minutes of it, and it's still on my PS3. I'm hoping that my PS3 will kill it.
It's a coaster. It's a coaster waiting to happen. My microwave is too good for this piece of shit. It looks bad. It sounds bad. The world is unbelievable. The characters are bland and two-dimensional. The combat is untenable.
The cutscenes.
The cutscenes. What, you mean different camera angles every fucking...
Every line. Even if it should be the same camera angle, but they'll change character, or even the same character but change line, they'll just jump the camera a little bit.
Narcissus, what did I bloody tell you? This way takes us into the west, but we'll have to cross. No telling from here.
It's incredibly jarring, and even though the game it has some real potential, I mean, what other pirate RPGs are there out there?
Lego Pirates of the Caribbean?
That's not an RPG.
Could be. It's better than this one.
It's a heap of fucking shit, okay? It's 37 quid in Asda, okay? Go and spend that 37 quid on bleach and drink it if you want to waste your money like that.
I have to admit, this sounds really intriguing. It sounds so bad, I almost feel like I must go buy it now.
You know games?
I do know games.
This isn't a game. Okay, here's the thing. I would rather spend my life playing Minecraft.
Really?
Yeah, okay.
Wow.
I
Kind of what I'd do anyway.
I would rather actually go and farm minerals than spend another 20 seconds looking at the back of my pirate's terribly polygonal head as he saunters. It's a pirate game. No sea travel, okay? It's some shit!
So, apart from subpar pirate games, I've been trying to recover from Risen 2 with a bit of Battlefield 3.
Which I've been playing quite a bit of as well, and also streaming on my Twitch TV channel too. Also been playing Hybrid and Dark Souls.
Oh, ouch. That really hurt. Go on, pal, you can do it. Oh shit, okay, just me then.
Though I'm still waiting for Namco to send me a copy of the Prepare to Die edition, I will do voiceover work for you, should you require.
Give us a little example.
Dark Souls Prepare to Die edition.
I like the addition of edition. That made me a happy man. Now, personally, I've been playing loads of Squaresoft's masterwork, Vagrant Story, which I downloaded from PlayStation Network. I dusted off my PlayStation for the first time in months and months, just so I could play THQ's excellent Darksiders 2. Ice Giant. Odin killed all those, I heard. Not as good as Darksiders 1, but still worth it. But the meat of my month has been spent with Xbox Live's Summer of Arcade. Okay, so, as I literally just said, I've been playing a lot of stuff that's been in the Xbox Live Summer of Arcade, starting, of course, with Tony Hawk's HD remake. It's by no means an ideal remake. There are some things which are strange, but you can bowl around as your avatar. It's everything you remember and a little bit less. DLC's on its way, and it should kind of have been in the game. Next to come out was Racketeer, which, I'm not going to lie, I didn't get a chance to play. As you can see, I don't exactly live in a mansion, so I don't have enough room to play a Kinect. From what I can tell, it's basically Angry Birds, so if you're a prepubescent girl or 40-plus-year-old iPhone owner, you might want to look it up.
That's what I would have done!
So, next up was Deadlight, which is a combination of Flashback and the current games industry, which means that obviously there had to be zombies or it wasn't a complete package. Kind of short. I was looking through my gameplay and I had under 2 hours and the game's complete, with something like 89% completion. That's a game for waiting for Deal of the Week, but it's great fun, and if you want a decent story, go for it, but don't expect to be entertained for too long. Next up we had the big Microsoft Studios sort of flagship of this year's Summer of Arcade, which was Hybrid. Hybrid's a third-person global warfare cover-based shooter with jetpacks, and that's its gimmick. And it's by the same guys that did Scribblenauts, so obviously it was going to be pretty creative. It's just jetpacks. If you like jetpacks and you like shooting, then fuck it, why not? Okay, so last in this year's Summer of Arcade was Dust and Elysian Tale. Now, furries have ruined Sonic the Hedgehog, they've ruined Star Fox, and they've ruined Final Fantasy. Now they're trying to ruin Metroid and Castlevania in one fell swoop. The game itself was made by one guy, which makes it technically impressive because the whole thing is done in glorious HD hand-painted sexiness. But at the same time, it's a furry game. I receive messages from my friends asking me why the hell I'm playing it. And honestly, I can't tell them. I tell them that I'm playing it because I have to tell you not to play it. But you should at least check out the demo because it's a Metroidvania game, and that's a great genre. And, I don't know, set it to hardcore and it becomes fun. Okay, so that was this year's Summer of Arcade, sort of in a nutshell. Obviously, each of these games does deserve a full review, but we don't have time, and I don't have enough energy or effort to do all of that. So I'm pretty much going to give you a ranking of how much I enjoyed things without explaining it too much. Number 1, Hybrid. It's a creative third-person shooter with jetpacks, come on. Number 2, probably Deadlight, I'd say. I mean, it's short and wait for it to be on deal, but it's been a while since I've seen a story-based platformer. Number 3, probably Dust and Elysian Tale, just because it's a technical marvel that one guy could do it all himself. Number 4, we've got good old Tony Hawk's, because, let's face it, they're trying to rip you off with DLC again. I mean, there's nothing wrong with trying to rip someone off with DLC. Capcom do it all the time, and they're far better than these Tony Hawk games. But at the same time, it's just kind of a kick, and the level selection is not so great. And right down at the bottom, we've got The Racketeer, which I'm not going to lie, I haven't played, which is why it's down there. But from what I've seen and what I've heard from my multiple friend, well, my one friend that has Kinect and played the demo, it's uninspired. Now that's just hearsay, so don't pay any attention to it. Anyway, I suppose we should probably go back to loading now so we can actually do something professional.
I've been playing Sleeping Dogs, which is a new sandbox game released by Square Enix, which is a cross between Shenmue and GTA, where you play an undercover cop who's trying to infiltrate a gang of triads. Now, the concept of Sleeping Dogs is similar to sandbox games of time since past. The presentation of the game is surprisingly solid and polished, and the city of Hong Kong is well imagined. However, being published by Square Enix, whom are best known for their follies in the JRPG genre, I was originally skeptical that this was going to be a GTA clone that would ultimately try and fail. The graphics are nice, and the story kicks off to a good start that quickly introduces the game's free-running element without a boring mandatory tutorial section.
Stay with me!
Cutscenes are well put together, and it is in these where you will see a similarity to the GTA-style narrative of storytelling, although this is not a bad thing by any stretch.
Feels like the game has changed.
There is violence, there is gore, there is some sexual content.
You want a little relief?
I mean, who could resist you?
But the game handles these in a conservative way that doesn't go overboard with the content, and leaves some things to the player's imagination, which I like. But ultimately this is still a sandbox game, so you can just piss around for as many hours as you want, doing things such as beating up innocent bystanders, stealing lots of cars and bikes, going and doing numerous side quests. For example, you can go and do a fight club.
Not just a fight club, a cockfight club. There are human fight clubs in the game, but they are not half as entertaining as watching two terribly coded chickens lunge at each other for an achievement.
Hey, I don't for you.
Not just that, you can bet on it.
You can bet on it too.
Which is great, because apparently you can do that in Hong Kong, which is lovely to see a sandbox game set outside the US for once.
I see. Well, I was actually spending the majority of my in-game time having sex with lots of attractive women as opposed to watching chickens fight, Teddy.
Well, as you know, I'm a bit partial to cocks.
Ooh. Moving on. What Sleeping Dogs brings to the mix, or rather revives, is functional hand-to-hand combat that involves a mixture of simple combos and grapples and a counter-attack system. While simplistic in nature, it has been executed well. It turns out to be really fun, especially when you time your counter-attacks perfectly in succession. It makes you feel like a real badass. Melee weapons can be used, but I always found the most satisfaction coming from the use of Wei Shen's seemingly titanium-reinforced knuckles. Free running is another feature that allows you to clamber over most obstacles in a smooth fashion with just a quick press of a button, which you can also use to combine some attacks with. Being Square Enix, some minor RPG elements have made it into the game in the form of a leveling up system which allows access to stronger attacks, passive bonuses such as a personal valet,
Hey, it's Wei. I need a car.
and slow motion Max Payne style bullet time. In the game you work for the cops and the triads, so you would guess that there would be some kind of moral choice system in place, but no, you would be wrong. You end up doing all the missions for them both.
with the only real morality being that doing naughty things will lessen the amount of experience you get for cop upgrades at the end of each mission. And as for the story, it's actually good. Sandbox games normally have a history of boring me after an hour or so, but Sleeping Dogs actually kept me up quite late on several nights as I was keen to see what was going to happen next, so kudos for that. Combining the missions and general distractions on the way, you'll get yourself around 20 to 25 hours of solid play, not including the side quests.
Now ultimately we are going to compare this to previous sandbox games such as GTA, but I think this is much more colourful, much more fun, and the combat system's really good as well. I would give it an 8.5 out of 10.
So, Sleeping Dogs, 8.5, just about right. Which kind of brings us into the fact that there have been no real major announcements for other sandbox games, like GTA 5, which is coming out this year.
And we're talking about announcements. We've recently had Gamescom with a lot of future releases coming out. Anything that piqued anyone's interest?
Yeah, there was a couple of games actually. There was a game called Remember Me, which seems to be a cross between Mirror's Edge and Deus Ex as well, which looks interesting.
Selfish bitch.
And there was another one too called Rain, which seems very artsy-fartsy, but it's basically you play a boy who is invisible, and you can only actually see him when he's in rain. You can see his silhouette. And I kind of like that sort of concept and artiness about it.
So it's kind of like a paedophile Daredevil's favourite moment.
I would say so. If you're referring back to that particular scene, yes, it would fit in perfectly.
Jennifer Garner's eyes.
Oh, please.
What is that?
Smile.
It made no sense. Anyway, Crysis 3, they're not going to let us down, are they? It's going to be a great Crysis game, shiny as hell. It's going to be good. Sorry, I just can't floor it.
It's going to piss off some console gamers,
Well,
PC gamers. Ooh.
It will be amazing to see how the Xbox and PlayStation 3 can actually handle it as well, considering it's such old hardware.
I don't know, man. It's going to be a console port to PCs again. A lot of original Crysis fans are going to be disappointed yet again. But we don't care about them. Well,
Awkward.
I do. Okay, the things that I've been looking at from Gamescom have been DMC, the Devil May Cry reboot. Doesn't look like bollocks anymore, mostly because it's got sort of a weird Bill O'Reilly boss in it, which is my favourite thing in the world. And the other thing that I say piqued my interest, the other thing that made me really angry from Gamescom was the increased focus on the PlayStation Smash Bros. Whatever they're calling it.
It's the Battle Royale thing.
It's Drek. Okay, one, Big Daddy from Bioshock's in it. Not even a PlayStation character. Okay. Two, PlayStation don't have a strong enough roster of characters.
Well, they've got Nathan Drake. They've got Tomb Raider's not really PS3.
Tomb Raider. What's her name?
It's Sony.
Lara Croft.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you. Sorry. You like.
Oh, the name of the game. Yeah.
Okay.
Well, moving on from that, we've got the Wonderbook for kids, which is this is really interesting because it's PlayStation 3 using the PlayStation Eye.
Yeah, it's a sort of augmented reality thing which works off QR codes, which trick kids into being educated by a video game. Now, if there's anything that kids love, it's being tricked into things, whether it's a belief in the Tooth Fairy, or into my van, or into learning numeracy and literacy skills. I mean, Rayman typing is basically behind my knowledge of any kind of phonics.
Okay, well, going away from your weekend activities, Toby, and back onto the subject of educational games, there was another one out due out as well. It was called
Rocksmith.
Rocksmith.
Then that's next month.
Yes, due out next month as well. And basically, this is it's like a follow-up from Guitar Hero, but instead you use a real guitar, which you plug into all the software, and it teaches you how to be a fully fledged guitarman. It has mini games which train you which train your muscle memory. It just goes through every single nuance of how to actually play a guitar, which I think is really, really cool.
Okay, so you're going from like Jordan Buckethead on Expert to Jack Johnson and getting ladies
Yeah, oh, this is a
2
huge
years,
move for gamers because, you know, women will be involved now.
Yeah.
Well, women are involved in Guitar Hero, mostly pitying me.
Whatever you say, man, when there comes guitars, there comes chicks. That's all I'm saying. Learn it and they will come.
Also coming out next month, we've got Double Dragon Neon, which is basically Jedward in a fighting game.
Shut your fucking face!
Sorry, their hairstyles look like Jedward and they act like Jedward. We've also got Tekken Tag Tournament, which I don't know if you've seen the videos, but it just looks manic. It looks absolutely mad when you got the people just crossing in.
Yep.
You've got the Street Fighter 25th anniversary.
25 years now.
Yeah, the special edition, which comes with all the games you already own, the soundtrack, and a statue.
For $150.
Woo! And talking about fighting games, we've got Dead or Alive 5. Boobies! Boobies are back!
I noticed that we say fighting games, but it's the only one you ever play with one hand on the controller.
Yeah.
I've always respected this game as being an excellent fighting game and also being a homage to the beauty of women as well.
Yeah, they've got a bunny, a bunny suit DLC that basically plonks you on an island and all the females have bikinis and bunny ears.
I can't avoid this fight.
I have never played a Dead or Alive game for this reason.
Oh, really?
Excellent game, you should try it.
Seriously, bouncing boobies.
Yeah. Jiggle physics.
Well, quite literally like that. It's ridiculous.
I'm good.
Borderlands 2 is coming out next month as well. I'm looking forward to it. I played the first one. I did enjoy it. It definitely has room for improvement, so I'll be interested to see where they can actually go with it. And next month as well, we have a game coming out on Xbox Live Arcade called Mark of the Ninja. Now, this is a game developed by a company called Clay Entertainment, the guys behind the Shank series, in case you don't already know. And I got a chance to speak to the lead designer for it.
Like, Ninja was kind of interesting because we were able to take kind of the very, very foundational elements from something like Shank, where it's like, the really stylized, fluid animation, the tight controls, the really good game feel, and then do something completely different with it.
Well, I think that's about it. Okay, if you like the video, then don't forget to rate, subscribe, check us out on Twitter, follow us there. We're at The Kilobits, and on Facebook as well, which is facebook.com/The Kilobits.
I'd like to point out that this tiny bearded motherfucker is leaving the show for a bit. This is his last one for at least a while. And I'd just like to pay homage to you by asking you to do your trademark thumbs up grin. There it is. Anyway,
we're gonna miss you, man.
Like, comment, subscribe, do all that social networking bullshit. Show your friends. We need the clicks.
And directly,
bye.
Get a hot girl to replace him. Bye.
If I promise to come back, will you stop hugging me?
I don't know, maybe.